Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Taurus energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. Some people harness high vibe Taurus energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Taurus energy. You know, we're either enlightened to seeing life differently, or we can still be caught up in the illusion of the world. And some people harness a more shadowy Taurus energy. And whether you're a Taurus sun sign or cross-watching for a Taurus, we all harness all zodiac sign traits and characteristics in a high vibe or a more worldly way. So just listen to your intuition. This is the energy available to people in their Taurus energy. Listen to your intuition about where you are in the story and how you harness your Taurus energy. And listen to your intuition about other people in your life. I'm going to turn the camera down here. We're going to have to get some tarot on it, needless, because I'm using the tea leaf fortune card. So we start, well, first let's do the reason for the reading is the butterfly, a change for the better. And we start out the reading with the bell in reverse, an announcement. Maybe not, transformation. The butterfly in tarot kind of talks about transformation. We have our dualistic nature and we live in a dualistic world and everyone else has their dualistic nature. We've all got our worldly nature, which is kind of our more beastly, animalistic nature. Selfish, greedy, prideful. We want what we want when we want it. Don't want to put in work and effort to get what we want. Self-centered, egotistical, envy, jealous, prideful, egotistical, the list goes on. And the butterfly, we're the only animals of the world that can transform our life to elevate ourselves out of our more beastly nature. Kind of like a caterpillar on the ground has a certain view of life until they maybe learn some lessons in life that they could look at life completely differently if they were to kind of transform themselves by the renewing of their mind to look at life from a much higher perspective. And then we have 4 cards not showing themselves. Barrel in reverse. You feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. So with that not showing itself, I think some people are doing this work within themselves to love themselves and believe in themselves and heal from past pain and heartbreak. And people in their life might not know it because it's being done. You do that work within yourself, kind of behind closed doors. It's an inner work that you do. And flowers, happiness. Other people might not know, again, that other people love and believe in themselves, where maybe before they really didn't have much to proclaim because maybe, we were in our fear or insecurity or our pride or our ego. And then we have parrot in reverse. Someone will gossip about your secrets. Maybe part of the reason why some people are keeping things under wrap about what's going on within them is because they just don't really need other people's input. Because it's like a solitary journey, when a caterpillar changes into a butterfly, they got to go through that molting process where they go down to liquid mush and then completely transform themselves. And when you're really breaking yourself down to the bare essentials of what is my truth, what do I believe in, what am I willing to stand up for, what am I willing to defend, what do I love, you really maybe don't. It can be confusing, maybe don't really talk to people about it. And then we have Cain. Pay attention to your health. And I think some people are doing that. Well, let's get a little tarot story on here. Let's see. What is the bell in reverse? An announcement. It could be the reason for this card being the reason for the reading is also why the reading came out. Some people could have thought that some things were going to transform in their life, maybe in a relationship, and it's not going to happen. We have the truth, the Ace of Swords, because of the Hangman. So in high vibe, this is people who have seen the truth and they've been enlightened to the truth. That's what high vibe Pisces of the Hangman is about. I have looked at life differently. I've expanded my perception of myself and the world around me and how I view myself and what I believe is possible. And I'm connecting in with my emotions and my intuition and my dreams. And I've been enlightened to the truth. I've seen life differently. We're going to come back and read this in a moment for the people that might have a different view of life. And instead of seeing the truth, that it's about being enlightened to the truth, that it's about love and having hope and faith and belief in your dreams and, loving yourself and believing in yourself. Other people might no. I still think I know best, because if I do love, that means I could get hurt. That means I do have to learn to love myself. That means I probably do have to heal from past pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs, and they're not going to do that. Their truth is they're going to keep moving forward in pride and ego. So, let's see. Maybe I'll just put those cards up there so I can remember what they are, but we'll just put them up there so I can remember what they are. Tell us about the barrel in reverse. We have the Six of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Okay, so not feeling something is lacking in your life. The Six of Cups... Well, the reason the Six of Cups and the Nine of Wands came out is because of the truth. High vibe people have put in Taurus energy, and Taurus energy has to do with our underlying philosophy of life. Do I have hope and faith and belief in my dreams? Do I believe in love? Do I think I should put work and effort to get the things I want in life? Or am I kind of lazy and indulgent and selfish and don't think I should have to put any work, I think the high vibe people have seen the truth, and the Six of Cups can talk about having reconciled yourself with the past, because the Six in Tarot can talk about being balanced within yourself, because we do have our more worldly foundation, we have our more hopeful believing nature, and those can be represented by like the threes in tarot. And so when we're at balance within ourselves, because there's a maximum of 6 each, or 12 zodiac signs, and we have our shadow nature and we have our loving intuitive nature, and we have to be balanced between the fact that we acknowledge we have a shadow nature. We all got it. We all can be prideful and egotistical and want what we want when we want it. But if we don't want to run our life off into the ditch, because our shadow nature is also represented by the devil, we need to offset our more shadowy nature with elevating ourselves and offering ourselves love and compassion. That's kind of the Nine of Wands also. The Nine of Wands, Sagittarius energy, is about higher learning and education. If I keep repeating these patterns of the past, am I gonna ever move forward? Am I gonna stay stuck here repeating these patterns of the past? How about I wrap my brain around this game of life? Because why am I defensive to moving forward in life? Have I not reconciled myself with the past? Do I still have past pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs I haven't dealt with that makes me defensive to moving forward in my life? I know. I'm going to see the truth that I meant to love myself and believe in myself. I'm going to speak the truth and stand up for myself, have good boundaries against my more immature, indulgent, prideful, egotistical, I want what I want nature. And I'm also gonna wrap my brain around the past. There's people in my past that I wish I didn't have to have good boundaries to, but I did, because maybe they kind of harness these energies in a shadowy way. Shadowy Scorpio, shadowy Sagittarius, shadowy Gemini. They could have been people who aligned more with their worldly nature instead of being enlightened to the truth. They could have had their own patterns and ways of viewing relationships that they kept doing, which we were kind of defensive to because we wanted them to work together with us in love. And it kind of made us defensive. Well, are we going to keep being defensive to everybody in the world? Because some of the people that we might have grown up with or other people we might have went out with in the past acted a certain way. Not everybody acts that way. So we just accept the truth that everybody is where they're at. Some of them in Scorpio energy, some people want, high vibe Scorpio is people who want to have deep, meaningful relationships. They don't have to be a Scorpio sun sign. It's just how they harness their Scorpio. High vibe people believe in love. They want to have deep, meaningful relationships. They want to work cooperatively together with other people. They want everyone to have good boundaries within themselves, to be disciplined, not to repeat some poor past patterns where they're like prideful and egotistical and defensive. It's like, let's work together cooperatively and defend what we have. Is it love? Did you want to move forward in love? Or are you more interested in a relationship being a certain way that you're unwilling and defensive to moving away from that pattern of way of being in a relationship, to speak the truth, to listen to your intuition, to let love guide you? There's a lot of people in the world who do not want to do life any differently. They have this certain way of being. They could have grown up, working together with people in a certain way, and stepping out of that way of being, it's scary. It's stepping into unknown territory. And you'd have to have some hope and faith and belief in love. Also, are you willing to have good boundaries to other people in your life to defend this relationship? Or is there other people in your life who can kind of manipulate and control you? People from their family, people from their childhood, friends, family, the world, whoever, Are you willing to speak your truth and defend, if this is a new romantic interest, that, you defend this relationship becomes your priority. The other people in your past are no longer your priority. Everything in your life has its place and in your life. And if you want to be in a romantic relationship with people that you are going to work together with, your family, your siblings and your parents, they have their place in your life where you work together with them and you love them. But the romantic relationship that you're in, if that's the people you plan to move forward with in life, are the people that you should be your priority. Some people might know a Scorpio who tries to interfere in their life. Also, you could have known some people. Shadowy Scorpio can be people who are kind of emotionally shallow and superficial, and they are defensive to stepping outside their comfort zone. This is like the shallow end of the pool emotionally. I'd have to go into the deep end. Oh my God, no, that's too scary. I need to stay here. And, if you've already moved on from people like that, some of you could be speaking your truth quietly to someone in your life, perhaps someone from your past, but people that you know and that you work with in the world, you're not someone who maybe needs to be the center of attention with the bell announcement in reverse. It's kind of reminding me of High Vibe Leo. High Vibe Leo can be people who are loving and warm and everything, but it's not like Shadowy Leo where they got to be the center of attention and, blah, blah, blah. But some people are just doing the work to get balance within themselves, because if they do have some people in their life who are maybe trying to make them stay in relationship with them, even if that's just a friendship or a job or a romantic relationship, some people are realizing, if I feel stuck where this is nothing to talk about in the announcement reverse, I need to have better boundaries within myself, and I need to kind of like build up my confidence and maintain my balance, that I deserve to be able to speak my truth. And some people might, the wands and the swords are about communication. I think they're just maybe even trying to get clear about what their truth is and what I am going to stand up for, and what people do I want to work with and stand up and defend, and it's aligned with my truth. Who have I been defending and standing up for? Why am I standing up and defending certain people in my life? Because I myself am afraid of moving forward and of change? Is that why? Am I repeating a pattern? Or is there other people I could work with that are more bold and brave and confident, that are more aligned with my truth? Okay. Okay, tell us about the flowers card, happiness. Needless, I think when we're more balanced within ourselves and we're not enabling poor behavior in ourselves, we can feel proud of ourselves. And when we're not enabling poor behavior in other people, kind of indulging them in their poor behavior, it makes us feel more balanced within ourselves. And that would be conducive to being happy within yourself, because also, when we're tipped out of balance, we can be way too much in our emotions. We can be too much in our ego, in our fear, in our mind, and, letting our mind and everything run our life. And so I think some people are doing some work to get balanced within themselves so they can get clear about, what does, the Nine of Wands and Sagittarius energy can be too. It's like, am I kind of like an immature player? Have I been indulging other people who are kind of immature? Should I grow up, reconcile myself with the past, and have better boundaries within myself and speak up for myself and what I believe in? So then we have the flowers card, happiness. Okay. The Ace of Pentacles, the Libra Justice card, three cards not showing themselves, and it came out because of the Judgment card. I think when they're no longer aligning with their fear, their insecurity, their codependency, their self-limiting beliefs, and they have learned to love themselves and reconcile themselves with past pain and heartbreak and all those kind of things, to feel more balanced within themselves and have better boundaries to their more defensive nature, egoic nature. And when they are having self-discipline within themselves, they're probably also kind of distancing themselves from some people in their life and having better boundaries with those people. Because if we're kind of in our shadowy energy, guess what? We've probably rejected some loving people in our life because of our fear, insecurity, not believing in ourselves, petty, enviness, jealousy, lust, greed, addiction, whatever. We're probably going to be hanging out with some other people who are happy we're that way. Because then we keep hanging out with them. And some people, because they're maybe stuck, and they maybe are defensive to speaking their truth, and they haven't learned to have good boundaries within themselves, and so they're repeating this old pattern and way of being, and they want us to keep staying in relationship with them, defending that way of living life. And I think some people have learned some lessons that if they want their divine inheritance, they have to hold themselves and other people in their life accountable for their actions. If I want to be in loving, nurturing, just, fair, balanced, truthful, honest relationships with other people who have good boundaries, then I need to be that type of person. I need to expand my perception of how I view myself in the world and what kind of relationships I think I deserve to be in, and just how I perceive relationships. Do I have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship where I should be able to be immature and defensive and emotionally shallow and superficial, or that it's supposed to be all about me? Or are we in relationships with other people who are like that? Why? Why are we like that? Or why would we keep staying in relationships with other people who are like that? And so some people have done the work to gain some insight and wisdom that they can add to their foundation, because again, the Hangman becomes enlightened to the truth, and in tarot that can be represented by an Ace of Pentacles. You have something, an awareness that you can add to your foundation. You're not as naive as you were before. You aren't as gullible as you were before. You've expanded your perception of yourself in the world. You feel more brave and confident within yourself. You've learned to love yourself, believe in yourself, be more balanced and disciplined within yourself. And now you're ready to get the justice you deserve, because that is our divine inheritance. We can be like a beast in the world. We read about people in the newspaper every day that are acting like animals, treating their family members and other people in the world like animals, Not to say any of you are near that or any of the people that you were in a relationship with, but it's just the thing that if I want more, I have to be willing to be disciplined with it. It starts within ourselves first. Why would I keep enabling being in relationships with people who are stubborn or prideful or defensive or emotionally shallow, who try to keep me from getting what I deserve in a relationship? Do I think I deserve to get my divine inheritance? And we're manifestors. You know, all these things that people have manifested in the world since caveman days, none of those things just magically appeared one day. People listen to their intuition, which is Pisces energy, to love and believe in themselves. That it's like, you know what? I think I can take the things that I've learned in life and the way we've done things. I think I can add to it. I think I have some way of contributing to it to like help me and the people in my life or humanity move forward, you know, in a more just and fair and balanced way. Just because the whole reason is that people change, times change. You know, if you keep trying to live, say, in a 1960s time warp, well, the world's going to just pass you by because you refuse to look at life and expand your perception. And other people don't have a problem with it, and they're living in like the 2020s. You know, but there's some people that are very prideful and egotistical. They don't want change. They have their own idea of what they think is just and fair. And they're not going to do life any differently. It's like, okay, you know, and being illuminated to the truth that some people can just be defensive to speaking their truth. Some people don't want to have to speak their truth and fight for the things that are based on truth and love and enlightenment and seeing life differently. You know, because Taurus energy and shadow is about conforming to the world. Let's just do life the way we've always done it. Let's conform to the world. You know, this is all good. It looks like we have everything we need. You know, why do we have to change? Why do we have to kind of like shine our authentic light or our authentic nature? Why do we have to live our authentic life? Why can't we just try to blend in with the world? And if the world says you should live your life this way, I'm willing to live my life that way. Well, because that's fine. And the people who want to live their life conforming to the world, and that's where they're at, that's where they're at, you know? We all see life differently, probably when it really confronts us in our face, you know? And some people don't have a problem with the way their life is or the way the world is. And sometimes some of the people who are the most resistant to change are the people who benefit from it staying the same. And it's the people who don't really like the way the status quo is, because it is benefiting certain people and other people kind of feel out in the cold and they want things to change because they feel that it's unjust and unfair. And they want it to be more balanced. And if we find ourselves in jobs and relationships with friendships and with people who don't want to look at life any differently, you know, you're challenging my belief systems. I don't like my belief system challenged. That makes me defensive. I'm going to be defensive to you. You've changed. You look at life differently. You're willing to move forward in life differently than I'm willing to move forward in life. I want to keep doing life the way it was. I want you to stay here and do it this way. And some people are like, this isn't aligned with my truth. And what a miserable life to live your life in a way that's not aligned with your truth, where you don't think like you've given up on your dreams or you're not getting the justice or the fairness that you think you deserve. And the difference between people who are willing to move forward right now and some people who aren't willing to move forward differently right now is that the high vibe people are willing to deal with the truth, because the truth sets us free. And some people don't want to see the truth. They're defensive to the truth. They grew up viewing the world a certain way, viewing relationships a certain way, and you view them differently, or you view the workplace differently and how people should get along or whatever. You're viewing your life differently than you used to view your life differently. You're more bold and brave and confident. You know, our shadow nature, again represented by the devil, are those things in life that can limit us, oppress us, enslave us, oppress us. And when we do this work within ourselves to free ourselves from those things, so we're willing to be authentically ourselves more in the world. I've dealt with some of my past pain and heartbreak. That no longer stops me from moving forward in life anymore. I've accepted that people are who they are, and I'm not as worried and defensive of working together with people anymore because I no longer take it personally. I don't control them. People who are loving will be loving. People who are just and fair will be just and fair. People who are gracious and giving and warm will be gracious and giving and warm. And the people who aren't won't. And it can be really difficult to try to figure out why, life's so complex and we're emotionally complex, and, we don't have to figure it out. We just accept that people are where they're at. And if we just go out in the world and treat people with respect, treat people the way we'd like to be treated, be gracious, be compassionate, understand that people are in difficult situations. They're not always open and receptive to love or being open or being kind even. That it's like, you know what, I see it. Peace be with you. I'm going to keep moving on. I'm going to go find the people in the world who are a little more in a more balanced state, who've dealt with some of their issues so that they're more able to appreciate when just and fair and loving and kind and encouraging, supportive people come into their life. And if that's not where you're at, peace be with you. Peace. I'm going to move on. And the people who are able to move forward right now, also, they're willing to speak their truth to set themselves free. I don't want to keep repeating this pattern of relationship. I don't want to feel defensive in a relationship. I don't want to be in relationships with other people who are defensive or prideful or egotistical. If that's how you think your life, that's just and fair, how you live your life, because we all think our life is just and fair, right? You could be however you ran your life off into the ditch, and I'm sure at different times in your life you all have, and we all know when we did it, we thought we were completely justified, and we pointed the finger at everyone else and blamed everyone else, and it was never us. We all think we're just and fair. Even the people who are acting like animals out there in the world justify their actions. But the high vibe people right now have done the work within themselves to be balanced within themselves. They're offsetting their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego, their competitive nature. They're wanting to blame everyone else and being petty and envy and jealous and revengeful energy with love and hope and faith and belief, because they don't realize that's no way to live. And if I want my dreams to come into reality, I need to have good, loving foundations within myself, like soil to grow my life within. And it takes me getting balance within myself. I don't control the world. If there's one person in the world every day who should treat me with love and compassion and encouragement and kindness and forgiveness for the lessons I've had to learn, it should be me. And then when I learn to do that within myself, I can extend that to other people because I know how hard it is. But the high vibe people are also willing to cut these shadowy ways of being out of their life. And they're willing to cut other people in their life who harness those energies in a shadowy way out of their life. The Nine of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Tower. So the King of Wands is Aries energy, and Aries energy is all about the self. And if we don't discipline that aspect within ourself, it can wreck our life in the Tower card. Because we keep thinking, I can just invest in me. It's all about me. My wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego. I'm sure it'll all go okay. I don't have to change. Well, I think the way this world is set up is that if we act like that, it's probably not going to turn out the way we think it's going to turn out. Because we're not aligned with truth and love and character and integrity. And we're not going to be building our life on a stable foundation. We're trying to build it on something else. that we think is just and fair, which might be making our life being more motivated and inspired by the world. Money, materialism, status, image, sex, lust, greed, indulgence of whatever kind. I don't have to put in work on my foundation. If you want a strong foundation, it has to be built on love. Otherwise, you're building a foundation on shifting sand. And we all have lessons to learn about that, and we'll make those mistakes. And some of you have already learned some lessons in life that some other people haven't. And you're no longer invested in kind of your more me nature, or letting your more fiery nature, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. That's Sagittarius. Maybe they're comparing Pisces energy being illuminated to the truth against like Leo energy, which can look like you're shining bright in the world, but are you really operating from ego? Or are you connected in with your emotions and your intuition and emotionally balanced and speaking your truth? What are you motivated and inspired by? There's other people in the world right now who aren't willing to stop investing in just themselves or being really motivated and inspired to indulge in the things of the world. They're sure that is the answer. That'll make them happy. They don't have to change. Because if they were to let go of those things, that could be majorly disruptive to their foundation. Because if you're a very emotionally defensive person, to seeing the truth that it is about connecting in with your emotions and your intuition to guide you, some people are like, oh my gosh, it's so, it's confusing. We're emotionally complex. It is confusing. Some people don't want to do it. I just want to do life the way I've always done it. And I'm going to try to find someone else who's willing to do life the way I've always done it. So I don't have to deal with my emotions. Or I'm defensive and I'm prideful and egotistical. I have a certain way I want to be in a relationship. I think relationships should be all about people conforming to what I want in the world. I think that's just and fair. And I don't want to let go of those ways of being. If they're prideful, if they're self-centered, if they're defensive, if they're in their ego so they don't have to get hurt and they let their ego nature run their life and their more authentic self just looks out through the eyeballs and their ego's really running their life in the world and they don't ever let their more vulnerable, authentic, emotional nature out in the world to play, that's how they feel safe in the world. And they're not willing to let those things go. And if there was someone you had previously been investing in, if this isn't just within yourself, if other people aren't investing in you to be just and fair, regardless of if you wish they would have made you an offer or they had been in your life at one point in time, it's like if people aren't putting in the work and effort to work together with you now and speak their truth and invest in you, then, I'm not in denial of the truth. The Tower is about, I have seen the truth. I have been illuminated to the truth. They must be in a happy, loving relationship that they're defending, or they are repeating some pattern that maybe where they are being indulged in a relationship, where they can be immature in a relationship, where they don't have to be just and fair. Or if that person has the things of the world that they want, and they want those things more, then they want to see the truth and have relationships, deep, meaningful relationships based on love. Whatever the case is, I don't got to figure it out. All I got to know is if those people aren't working together with me right now to be just and fair and open and honest and loving, then, I'm not going to keep staying stuck about the truth in my ego. I'm going to reconcile myself that if people aren't putting in work and effort to work together with me, I don't have to figure it out. I just have to see the reality that they're not investing in being just and fair or doing the right thing, or don't feel being in a relationship with me is the just and right thing to do. Whatever the case, judgment. I'm no longer going to keep investing in those people. Apparently, that foundation has to go. And I choose to be in the energy of love. The divine must have a plan for my life. So what is the parrot in reverse? Someone will gossip about all your secrets. Well, apparently not. Some people don't want to illuminate the truth because they maybe did act prideful and egotistical in the past, and they maybe were all about themselves and even let go of relationships and foundations or a job because they were in their ego and they were defensive to change. They could be they either wanted to stay in a relationship with someone from their past, which is fine if that's a loving relationship, but if they're defensive to being just and fair, well, now, even if they might not like the choice that they made and they could feel stuck, they're defensive to doing the right thing, which might be to apologize for someone they backstabbed and betrayed when they had some lessons to learn. And they don't want to speak the truth because then people would maybe gossip about the fact that they were a fallible human being who made mistakes, but now they've apologized for it. You know, you can see how ego really gets our thinking twisted. You know, the truth sets us free. Everybody has made mistakes in their life. Everybody could be kind of shocked, like, oh my gosh, I never would have figured, you know. But, you know, and that's why ego can keep people from having their dreams come into reality, because if they are people who try to present this image that I'm this just and fair person, I would never act in a prideful, egotistical, controlling, or shallow, or superficial, or, you know, I would never make a mistake in my life. You know, because that's also kind of Taurus energy, and shadow is high vibe Taurus is being someone who acts with character and integrity. And we're fallible human beings. We make mistakes. And there's no shame in making mistakes in life if you learn the lesson you were meant to learn, and it completely woke you up to see life differently. And it expanded your perception of yourself, made you learn how to have better boundaries within yourself and be better disciplined within yourself, and who you let in your life, and even where you let your thoughts and your emotions go, because we can master our thoughts and our emotions. And it really made us learn to stand up for what we believe in and to have better discipline within ourselves and who we allow into our life, and really made us see what we needed to cut out of our life and what we needed to have more of in our life. And again, it starts with, it's really important for me to maintain balance within myself, to offset my own fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, because there's a whole bunch of people in the world that would love to play on my fear and my insecurity and my pride and my ego and my lust and my greed and my immaturity and all that stuff, and drag my life straight into hell. But there's other people in my life who have my best interests at heart, that want me to be all that I can be and to grow to my full potential. And then I could have some other people in my life that I love who maybe really don't want me to live my life to my full potential and have the life of my dreams, because they're maybe not living their life that way. And, you know, people can kind of be jealous and envious or whatever. And it's like, well, I don't want you to have the life of your dream, because then I'll feel stuck back here because I was defensive to believing in myself and speaking my truth and standing up for myself to live my authentic life. And I'm in my ego that I'm not willing to let go of those foundations or how I've lived my life or speak my truth and put an end to my more immature nature to align with my more hopeful, believing nature. And so some people aren't willing to admit that they made mistakes. And they're afraid of being judged. I could not possibly admit I was a fallible human being who made a mistake. I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing, being defensive, and they just won't move forward in life, because you can't move to like the next phase of life authentically until like you've mastered the level behind. Just like being age 15, going to 18, going to 21, going to 25. You can try to create an illusion you're different than who you are. You can keep living a life of illusion all your life. But if you know that there's some ways of being that you're unwilling to change, that really are kind of prideful, egotistical, defensive, shallow, superficial, then I guess that's the prison that some people have built for themselves. Some people don't want to get out of a relationship because they're afraid that someone else maybe won't take it well and that they would, I don't know, slander them or something. Tell us about the Cane card. Pay attention to your health. But I think the high vibe people are like, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do. And if we find ourselves in a relationship that we think someone would do that, well, the best way, I mean, there's no guarantee, but, you know, to try to be authentic and honest about why you'd be leaving a job in a relationship. It's not like the day that you're going to leave that you have to tell someone at a job or a friendship or a relationship, oh, by the way, and I thought you were a complete bitch or asshole, you know. You know, how about you leave on good terms, you know, and try to be as kind and understanding as you can be, you know, just like you want a good reference from a job, you know, and we can't control how other people are going to choose to act. All we can do is to conduct ourselves in a way that we're proud of, because the other people, it wouldn't really matter. If they're an icky person, they're going to act in an icky way regardless. So tell us about the Cane card. Pay attention to your health. The King of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and then we had a card that fell out on the table, which is the King of Swords, not showing itself. And it's because of the Six of Swords. So I think high vibe people have seen the truth. And if they felt like they were in relationships or currently in a relationship, because, you know, the whole point is in Taurus, in any of the zodiac signs, you've got to complete a cycle and then kind of go back and redo those energies and transform the energies, which is like the butterfly card. You go through a life experience and that energy will keep staying with you until you go back and you kind of transform the energy, and then you can release it. But some people are taking action in truth and love. They're listening to their intuition. They're going to take action in love. And part of it is to offer love to their own maybe harsh self-critical nature and maybe their more egoic self-centered nature, so that they can move forward again in a Six of Swords, a balanced energy between like their mind and their heart, combining the fact that I have this dualistic nature, but if I don't get a handle of my dualistic nature, you know, one side or myself is going to be running the show. And then we always have this inner conflict going on within us. It's like, I need to reconcile this. I have these things in the world I want, but I'm going to go about it in a way that I can feel proud of, you know? So it's like telling our worldly nature that wants things that it wants, our more immature, indulgent nature, that I'm going to try to get you the things that you want. Shh. You know, because our worldly nature is like our more immature nature, like raising a child. I am going to try to get us the things that we want, but we're going to go about it in a way that's just and fair and truthful and authentic and loving, so that we can be at peace and balance within ourselves and not in turmoil and chaos and conflict. I have to, in the Seven of Pentacles, Taurus energy, I have to, in love, you know, see life, two cards of Aquarius energy, which is about seeing life from a higher perspective, having hope and faith and belief in my dreams that I can heal, that other people can heal, and to have hope and faith in my future and communicate that to my Taurus energy so that we're all on board. You know, because Taurus energy within all of us is represented by the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is our overarching philosophy of life. How do I view the world? How do I view myself? How do I view myself in relationships? How do I view other people in relationships? How do I just view relationships in general? How do I view the world? And some people previously could have had a more worldly perspective, and they could have been people who are kind of, the kings in tarot can talk about us operating more from our egoic nature, because we all take action in the world in masculine energy, because we can all present ourselves in the world in whatever way we want. But what is the truth of who we are internally, emotionally? And that's where the queens can represent our emotional state. If some people before, whether they were male or female, were like presenting themselves as like a loving person in the world and kind of conforming to the world, but it was more about shadowy Aquarius, shadowy Taurus, shadowy Cancer. It's like, isn't it where the dream is, you know, to have these things of the world and to get in a relationship and invest in a relationship, but kind of defensive to investing and taking creative, bold, confident action in the world, where we were kind of rejecting the truth of that it's supposed to be about justice and fairness and character and integrity, you know, but that takes a lot of work. So then it's like, well, can't I just, isn't it about just getting in a relationship and having, you know, the relationship, and then I'll feel better, and then I'll maybe get in a relationship or a marriage, and then when I'll feel better, and we can move forward, and all my dreams will come into reality, and I really don't have to speak my truth, and I really don't have to do this work within myself to heal my own foundation or love myself? Can I just get in a relationship, get in a job, you know, indulge in the things of the world, and everything will be okay? Well, it didn't probably work out, and we felt stuck, because we kind of realized we were repeating a pattern that we could have seen from childhood or seen other people in the world doing. But then we felt kind of defensive because there was something within us that made us feel like, I don't know, is this it? I feel like there's more. And my inner child nature was kind of like, can we put an end to this? And can we not worry about what people will say? And can we go live our authentic life? Let's communicate to our Taurus energy that we've seen life from a higher perspective. And then let's also maybe detach from the people in our life who might have a different idea and their own perspective of what they think is just and fair, and that's fine. But that's not my dream. If that's your dream, that's fine. I hope you're happy. But I want to go move forward with the people and get in relationships with other people who view life the way I do, who have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, that aren't just settling for, I don't know, the image or the status or the money, and want to be in deep, meaningful relationships with people who have good boundaries, who are creative and inspired, who are authentic and loving, not people who put an end to their dreams and being authentic and loving and vulnerable in a relationship. I want to be in relationships with people who harness like high vibe Cancer, Aquarius, Taurus, and Aries, who aren't living more from their mind and their heart, who aren't emotionally defensive and maybe cold, who think living your life like that is just and fair. If they think it's just and fair, they can live their life that way. But I really want my dreams to come into reality. This way I've been living my life is causing me mental conflict. And I'm going to go communicate with the people in the world. And some of you already did that. And some of those people are going through this same process within themselves of what is their truth. They could be in situations where they've been living their life in a way that makes them feel stuck. You know, what do they think is just and fair? Are they defensive? You know, have they been hurt before, so they're not willing to live life differently and be more bold and brave and confident? Some people either are being indulged, are indulging someone else in order to be in a relationship, to have the things of the world. Are they living their authentic truth? Are they willing to speak their truth? And you're like, you know, whatever, I communicated my truth. You know, if I'm like waiting to see, after you do this process, what is your truth? Are you going to keep repeating your patterns? Are you going to invest in what's just and fair? get out of your ego, let go of that more worldly focused foundation, because we all put in work and effort to have stability and security in our life and enjoy the finer things in life. It's just, do we make that the priority, or is it love and looking at life as an adventure to be lived and being in the relationships with people who really motivate us and inspire us? Or do we stay living a life of defensiveness and fear and just tell ourselves, this is good, this is just and fair, you know? I'll just reject the fact that I'm not investing in taking bold, brave, confident action and, you know, letting go of things that have probably already shown me that they're unstable and ungrounded, even just within myself, because I'm sabotaging my own inner child that wants to be free to go be authentic in the world. And some of those people too, just like nobody just leaves relationships or jobs, you know, you tell the people that it can go on for quite a long time. Some people right now could be making their last statement to someone in a relationship, or they're thinking of it, because that wasn't showing itself either. Some of those people might be getting ready to tell the people they're in a relationship with, you know, I've really given a lot of thought to how I want to move forward. And sometimes in this job or relationship or friendship, you know I've been defensive. Sometimes I think you've been defensive. I really love you. I'd really like to work together with you. But it has to be just and fair. We have got to let go. Because, you know, the pages in tarot can talk about people wanting to be vulnerable, wanting to be authentic. But we can't keep staying in situations where people are kind of like abusing that nature within ourselves. If I'm being authentic and vulnerable and I'm trying to be just and fair and have good boundaries, it's not fair for you to be prideful and egotistical and defensive and hurt me. And throughout this process, you know, it's about I am willing to take action to bring my dreams into reality, and I'm about to communicate to someone, for some of the people that are in a relationship right now, that, you know, I don't want to be kind of staying in a relationship, and the King of Swords could be because this is logical and practical. If it makes me feel emotionally cold and detached. I've learned to love myself internally, emotionally, to have hope and faith. I've healed, and I want to invest in coming together with others in joy and celebration who choose that too. And if the other people aren't willing to do that, then it might be, I'm at that place, I'm willing to wish you peace, and I'm ready to move on. Tell us about the butterfly card, the world, and the magician. And that came out because of this card that isn't showing itself. But I set my deck down on the table upside down, so I'm going to also take the bottom of the deck. For some, it's an end to an illusion. Because why did some people maybe get in certain jobs, relationships, and friendships? Maybe because they felt stuck. And they wanted to be in a relationship with someone because they felt wounded. And they were upset about relationships in the past that didn't work out. And they thought it was just and fair to get in this relationship, but they maybe weren't putting work within themselves to heal. You know, because that's the thing. If we don't do the work within ourselves to heal from our past pain and heartbreak and all that good stuff before we get in the next relationship, then that's like bringing that unstable way of being into the next relationship. And now we have a new relationship and the shit from the past that we haven't dealt with. And, you know, it just doesn't maybe turn out the way we thought because we didn't take that time to heal. Some of you did. Some of you could have ended a relationship and you did take all this time to heal. And then you could have communicated to someone who you feel that is someone you would really, that you think your dreams could come into reality. Because some of the people maybe With the Libra energy here, you called judgment on that. The Justice card and the King of Swords is Libra energy. But it doesn't have to be that you were dealing with a Libra. You could have just been dealing with someone who you thought would be just and fair. And you could have found out that either they're a little more prideful or defensive or have some wounding of their own, or prideful and egotistical or materialistic or whatever, immature, whatever. That they have some issues to deal with that they could have not been showing you. And part of it could have been, well, when I got in a relationship, I just thought I didn't have to deal with that. And I thought it was kind of where I could just indulge in a relationship and like everything would be fine. But then it can be where it's them kind of indulging. And they think that's a just and fair relationship. It's like, well, are you have any self-awareness about why you do what you do in a relationship? It's like, well, no, I'm defensive, but I just want to be in a relationship and I think we should do it this way. I think that's just and fair. And it's like, okay. Well, that's not my idea, so I'm moving on. And so you kind of realize, the Magician card is Gemini energy, and Gemini is a dualistic sign, and it is about what am I going to align with within myself, my more loving, intuitive, creative, hopeful, believing nature, or maybe living more from my mind and the world and making my life more about working with the things of the world instead of love and intuition, and make my life more about the world and, be happy with that. The Magician, what am I going to invest in? And some people could have exchanged foundations. That's what the Six of Pentacles can talk about in Taurus energy. Some people were in a relationship based on love, and then it was like, in the Seven of Pentacles, Taurus, like, do I want to keep moving forward with this? It would require me to take more bold, brave, confident action in my Aries energy. And Aries and Libra are on opposite sides of the zodiac circle. And some people who could be more used to living from their mind and thinking, that's the way they prefer to live their life, than taking more bold, brave, creative action, they would have had to let go, take the lessons they've learned from living their life more from their mind to go into unknown territory and go explore life aligning with their more Aries energy. And some people weren't willing to do that. And they're like, nope, I'm going to put an end to offering you love. I know you'll be betrayed and you'll be mad, but this isn't my truth. I'm not ready. I may never be ready. I think it's just and fair to repeat these patterns of the past, because we'll keep repeating a pattern until we learn the truth we were meant to learn from it, to be enlightened to the truth. Like, oh my gosh, I am repeating a pattern. Oh my gosh, these people I keep getting kind of in a relationship, the same shit keeps happening. And some people are happy with that. So long as the person they're in a relationship doesn't become illuminated to the truth that this person isn't going to change and this is the way they like to live their life. So they can get in a relationship with someone presenting themselves as harnessing high vibe Taurus. Oh no, I'm stable. I'm grounded. I'm a pillar of society. I'm just. I'm fair. I have this good public image or whatever. I'll bring a dream into reality with you. And they will bring a dream into reality so long as the person they're in a relationship with stays the same and doesn't heal, keeps staying in the Five of Swords. The Six of Swords moves away from the Five of Swords, which can be all about making your life, having mental conflict about wanting to look like a shining star in the world. And from the Ten of Swords to the Six of Swords would be the Four of Swords that you'd have to heal. And if they get in a relationship with someone who heals from, that they're able to move forward differently, they're willing, they're like a different person. It's kind of like being reborn in a way, when we grow and mature ourselves at different phases of our life, just like we did at 15 and 18 and 21 and 25, we're not the same person we were. We kind of gave up some of our more childish ways of being, more immature ways of being. We grew and matured ourselves. And if other people aren't ready to do that yet, yeah, they can think you're all snotty and snooty and you think you're so great because, you got a job, or you know how to drive, or you ain't got a job, or you ain't got a better job, But it's really because the other people maybe aren't willing to face some of their fears of moving forward in life and being more bold and brave and confident in their Aries energy, because they haven't expanded their philosophy of life to have more hope and faith and belief in themselves. So they'll keep repeating that way of being until they finally seem so stuck, and they see other people kind of getting the things of the world that they want, that they realize, maybe I've been kind of immature and I've kind of been fearful and repeating this old pattern. I need to put an end to indulging my more emotionally immature nature to grow up and look at life from a higher perspective, and maybe take some action to be a little more bold and brave and confident, and quit letting my mind or my fear or whatever run my life. And if everybody does that together in a relationship, they're going to put an end to an old way of being, because they're both believing they can manifest something new, and they're probably letting go of the Chariot not showing itself, not making their life so much about the image and the status and how people view them, that it's really harnessing high vibe Taurus energy of equal give and take and character and integrity, and really being someone who walks the talk. I don't care how people view it. If I know I'm aligned with my truth, why would I care what people think? This is what I love doing. These are the people I love. This is my authentic life. I have one life. I want to go really live it, and love it, and be with people I love, and be with loving people who have self-discipline, who've grown and matured themselves, who've put in work and effort to heal and look at life from a higher perspective. And some of you have gone through that journey. You did this work within yourself behind the scenes. And there's some of the people that some of you have left behind that feel stuck, and they'd kind of like to maybe manifest a new beginning with you, but there's something about who you are now that's different. You're not the person that you were before, maybe when you were in some of your fear or your insecurities or your codependencies or whatever. And they realize that moving forward and having a victory with you is no longer an option. And for some of you, if there was someone you communicated with, because there is consequences to our actions. And when we had lessons to learn in life, there could have been other people in our life that we rejected, and those people could have moved on. And they're not willing to have new beginnings with us. Just like when some of the people from your life realize, oh shit, I was repeating a pattern and I was defensive and I really didn't want to give up. I had some lessons to learn. They were painful, but now I've learned them, and now I'd like to get back in a relationship with them. If it's a romantic interest, it might be, no, not going there again. I'm happy for you, but no. And friends and children and adult children and siblings and parents and friends we might be able to reconcile with and get back to having a more close relationship, but maybe not some of the romantic people, because the whole thing is, it could be, I do think when we're young, we are going through a lot of changes and we have a lot of lessons to learn in life. But if you're talking about adults and there were some lessons they hadn't learned about being just and fair and maybe not just being about themselves, but we all have fear and insecurity, so that's why we offer ourselves compassion and forgiveness for the lessons we've had to learn. But there is the possibility that later, when we do see the truth, that some of the people that it's like, oh my gosh, I should have went out with that person, or I rejected that person because I had lessons learned. Now I'd like to get back in a relationship, and some of them aren't willing to be in a relationship with you. So we just got to see the truth, and some of them will. It just depends on what lessons they were learning at the same time you were off learning lessons in your life. And if you're both kind of in the same place and you think that, we both could have kind of not loved ourselves, we both had healing to do, we both could have gotten ourselves in situations where it's more about, got caught up in the ego and the image or the illusion of the world. And now I think we're both ready for a more emotionally mature relationship. We're finally ready on the same page at the same time. Then you could get in a relationship with those people. Now, we kind of talked about the shadowy people, but just a quick summary with the shadowy people right now. They definitely have, some of people are just stuck and they have a lot of life lessons to learn. And they keep maybe thinking that they don't have to put an end to their illusions. They don't think they have to get in the driver's seat of their life from love and take the reins of their dualistic nature. They're still thinking if they work with the world, get in a relationship, indulge in the things of the world, whatever they're looking to as their vice or the answer, they think that's going to work out fine. And they haven't learned that it's to get in the driver's seat of their own life and get more balance within themselves, or to quit being caught up in the illusion of the world. For some of them, that's it. And they're going to keep repeating a pattern and it's not going to work. And then eventually, hopefully, it's all to get them to realize that, maybe you have some things you need to heal from, and maybe you need to learn to love yourself and all that good stuff, and put in some work and effort within your own foundation. So you are leaving this cycle and pattern behind to expand your perception and put an end to some illusions that you had, and put in the work and effort to free yourself. But then there's some people in the world who are quite shadowy, and they're very prideful and egotistical, and they could be all about themselves, and they could have a very unstable foundation, but they don't want to put in the work and effort. And again, they're very convinced that if they get in a different relationship where they have someone indulging them, maybe in their ego or their lust or their greed or whatever, that they'll be happy. And so those people also don't want to speak the truth. Some of those definitely could have hurt some people. If any of you had hurt some people in your past, I think you apologize to those people and wish them peace so that you could be free and move forward. And also realizing now, like, oh my gosh, I could have done some hurtful things to people that maybe had them defensive and feeling stuck, and I don't want anybody to be stuck. So I'm going to wish them peace, even if you do it energetically, say a prayer for someone, and, because not everybody you can talk to in person. Then it's like, let them know I'm sorry that I was immature, I was hurtful, I was unkind, I had lessons learned, whatever. You can even just do it energetically, because everything really happens in the energetic realm first. But some of the shadowy people right now are going to take some action out of pride and ego. And some of those people might be in a relationship with someone right now, and the person they're in a relationship with has been doing this work within themselves because they've also felt stuck, but they saw the truth. Then why do I keep staying in a relationship with someone who acts like this? Because that's the thing when we're in a relationship, right? We have the free will choice. I can act with truth and love and character and integrity and be authentic and just and fair. But the people who don't want to live their life differently, I want you to keep living it like this. I could be just and fair, but then you'd always expect me to be just and fair. I could put aside my pride and ego, but then you'd always expect me to put aside my pride and ego. Some people like to be boss, shadowy Taurus is stubborn, prideful, kind of my way or the highway. Maybe some people who have status or image or social clout or attractive or who knows what they got. But for some reason, they think they can get away with acting this way. And part of it could just be, I don't think you'll love and believe in yourself. I've never loved and believed in myself to move forward in life differently. I bet, because it's also, I think, a normal trait when we get in a friendship, a job, or relationship that, we'd like that relationship to work. And the more of a loving person you have in a relationship, the more they put in work to try to make the relationship work, right? Because they're not stubborn and prideful and whatever. Some of those people might even see the truth that someone they're in a relationship with seems to be changing. They're not able to manipulate them the way they used to. It seems to be, has come to an end. What the hell is going on? They don't seem to be as motivated to exchange time, energy, effort, hugs, and kisses with me as they used to. This tactic always worked before. And, that's the interesting thing. We don't have the high priestess out here, but it's kind of making me think of that, We can get caught up in the illusion of a relationship when we don't want to see the truth of some of the people we're dealing with. But then when we start, we've been trying to love and encourage them to have hope and faith and belief and love, whatever. Eventually, we realize that, why do I feel stuck? And then we do the work within ourselves. And then as we do the work within ourselves, because we want to make sure it's not us acting weird. So then we do this work within ourselves to heal so that we're not maybe the one contributing to the problems. And then it's like, well, I've done this work within myself. And that's kind of when we can kind of be enlightened to the truth that I don't think this was me. I don't think this was something, we all have our own things we contribute, but I've done my work. So now is to see if this person will move forward with me and see how this person acts when I'm no longer, the manipulation is like people can take an action. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. And I know when I do that, you do this. And you don't do that anymore. And it's like, it's kind of like dog and fetch. Just like, look, I did this. Go get the ball. Bring it back. It's like, I'm not going to play the game anymore. Or I acted like this, or I did that, male or female. And the other person isn't reacting the way they used to react before. It's like, when one person changes in a dynamic, the whole dynamic changes. Because people aren't playing the roles and everything like they used to. And some people are starting to see the truth. And they're doing the work to heal themselves and get balance within themselves and love themselves and believe in themselves. And those people might tell those that if that person does one more thing, prideful, egotistical, self-centered, immature, hurtful, unkind, that could be the end. And, and ever since that's been coming up in readings lately, it kind of reminds me of like the Bible and rapture and, because I think all we are is, trying to play out these stories of the battle between light and dark in the world. And it happens over and over and over. It's like the people, one person in the vineyard and the other person's gone, It's just boom. And the other people are like, what the fuck? What happened? It's like, well, you were so caught up in yourself and manipulating and thinking you were so smart and thinking you had this all under control, living more from your mind than your heart, or caught up in your ego and your image and your status, that you weren't paying attention to the people you were in relationship with. And they were doing all this work and you weren't even noticing. Or you didn't want to see it because you didn't want to have to do the work too. And then one day it's like they're gone. And it's like it was a dream. And I think I can tell you from my own life experience, eventually when you do all that work and enough time has gone by and you've healed, it's like a blip. It's like, it was like, wow. Like, poof. It's like, yeah, it just feels like probably because it wasn't a very deep and meaningful relationship. Or you've just healed and you're no longer wounded. You gave yourself the things that you wish those people would have given you. And the reason we do that is so we won't keep being attracted to, for some reason, whatever it was in our pattern of relationship or growing up, that we were trying to get people like that to acknowledge our worth and value or love us or choose love. It's like, I'm going to quit going against the flow and like trying, I can be loving and encouraging to people. God can save people. I'm just loving and encouraging people and I'm going with the flow. It's like, bye. You stayed back there. You ran away. Okay. I'm moving forward to go find the people in the world who choose love. Maybe see you at the next rest stop. Oh, so I want to ask quick, like I usually do in the readings, what is coming up for the high vibe Tauruses that they might not see coming? The Six of Swords. Because of the Two of Swords. Well, for one, you're no longer going to feel stuck. Both the Two of Swords and the Hangman can feel about being stuck. But as you do this work and other people do this work within themselves to get to the truth about these patterns and why people are defensive. And, we shouldn't take it personally. They've got their own complex life they're trying to get through. Everybody's got to win the spiritual battle within themselves to choose love. And the people who are stuck, who don't listen to their intuition, in their Libra energy, they might not want to see the truth. They might want to keep moving forward in more worldly Aquarius energy, either where they indulge others, or it's all about looking like a shining star in the world. And you've seen the truth of that to free yourself. And you're going to have your dreams come into reality because you're no longer enabling poor behavior in yourself or investing time, energy, and breath on people in your life who don't see the truth. And you're investing your time, energy into the people in the world who are moving forward with you, having hope and faith and belief in their dreams. And there might be other people, this could be saying that other people are going to communicate their truth to you too. Needless, we have other people in our life, and just in general, other people in the world who are going to be moving forward at the same time we are, because we don't want to repeat that pattern, have been there, have done it, have learned the lesson. I'm moving to the next level of life in the video game. I'm going to go face my fears on the next level. And there might be other people who are intuitive that you're doing that, and they're going to let go of some of their immature ways of being and want to invest in you. And just be careful as you're moving forward here. There are going to be both kinds of people that you're probably going to meet in your life. Some people in their Taurus energy are going to look at you like a good investment. You look like your dreams are going to come into reality. I should get in a relationship with you because then I would look like my dreams are coming into reality. But the reason for them getting in the relationship is more about ego and image. And other people are going to want to invest in you because of the truth and love. So I guess hold your sword up, but have your hand out. I'm willing to talk to people. I'm not going to jump in a relationship until I get to the truth of what your underlying philosophy of life is in your Taurus energy. What drives and motivates and inspires you? Is it ego and image and money and materialism and being stubborn and prideful and egotistical? Yeah, cheers. Already met someone like you before. Or are you someone who's put in work and effort to love yourself and heal and seen life from a higher perspective, and you're ready to walk the talk? What's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly or shadowy Taurus energy? Let's get some that flip upright and not too many. Just like 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, well, one card wants to come out. It kind of came out and flipped itself around also on the table, and the reason it came out is because of the King of Swords. So it definitely has to do with what people's truth is, what their overarching philosophy of life is, what they are motivated and inspired by. And the people that are in shadowy energy could be listening more to their mind than their heart in their Libra energy, not willing to align with their more... They might not really connect in much other than, aligned with their worldly nature and their mind. Maybe not people very connected in with their emotions and their intuition. And because I kind of look at the fire energy as listening to your intuition. And what they might not see coming is that the people who move forward in love aren't going to be in their life anymore. And over time, they might have a hard time finding people who want to invest in them. Because maybe other people see that, they kind of get in relationships, but then they're defensive to really bringing the dream into reality. And they could be kind of immature, and what they think is just and fair and what they don't show people is that people make them an offer, they indulge in the relationship, but then they're unwilling to detach from any of their old ways of being to be authentic and loving in a relationship and more vulnerable. So, and if they do get someone to be in a relationship with them, It might be someone who's like themselves. You know, this does make practical, logical sense. You do seem to have those things in the world, and I don't really want to be bold and brave and confident either. So this makes logical, practical sense. Let's get in this relationship. It just won't be based on love. And our dreams won't come into reality. But by worldly standards, we might look like we have it all. So I guess if that's their dream life, they'll get that dream life. And the other people are really going to have their dreams come into reality. So there you go, Taurus energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.